encouragement to Timothy was on that day as he wrote the letter to encourage us as well. He said, now I want you to be able to endure hardness like a good soldier. Many of us don't understand the importance of that. And I pray before the message over that you will understand the importance of being hard, endure hardness as a good soldier. Well, when we speak about soldiers and military, we do recognize this is Veteran Weekend. You know, yesterday we want to honor you all this week, and not just like we do Thanksgiving every day. We want to recognize you every day. And we thank God that He took the time out to set aside a day or moment to recognize in a special way. But many of you may be able to relate to this service today because many of you have had soldier experience. But for those of you that may not have a chance to serve in the army of the world, but you are soldiers if you are in the army of the Lord. I tell them a lot of times I go into the store and they ask me, are you a military, are you a veteran? Have you ever served in the army? And I told them I've been serving the army over 40 years. All right. I said, but I've been I'm on the battlefield for the Lord. And I said, there should be some kind of recognition for those people too that serve as military servants for the Lord. Talk about serving, talk about the soldier. I was told a story not long ago, and this preacher out the church one Sunday, he did his ritual, his routine. He went to the front and he greeted and he talked and shook hands with everybody as they were leaving the church. He welcomed and thanked the visitors, and he also talked and mingled with the members. And one particular man came to a member of the church, and the man, when he got to the pastor held his hand and walked up to the side. He didn't want anybody else to hear but him. And he said unto the member, he said, son, it's time for you to get on the Lord, on the army for the Lord, get in the army for the Lord. And he said, Pastor, I'm already in the Lord's army. And he said, if you're in the Lord's army, why don't I only see you at Christmas and Easter time? Wow. And he whispered to the pastor and said, Pastor, I'm in the Secret Service. And the pastor, that didn't work for him, that don't work for me. So nobody come talking about, I'm just a Secret Service. I'm undercover. But we thank God because that didn't work then and it doesn't work now, because if you're in the army for the Lord, we ought to be proud. Amen. We ought to stand firm. No one should have any question whether or not you're on the battlefield, you're on the side of the Lord, or whose side you're on. Many chapters in the Bible, many books, Old and New Testament, show that you have to be dedicated. You have to be some things, qualifications you have to have if you call yourself on the battlefield for the Lord. Well, we do realize that this is a spiritual battle that we fight every day, and being in a spiritual battle, we cannot fight this spiritual battle with physical force. Amen. We try. Many of us try. We try with sticks and guns and knives, but you cannot fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons, because we realize that it's not what we see, it's what we don't see that destroys and that hurts us. And many times when we think about the battle we fight, it's three main enemies that we have. The first enemy is Satan himself. He's our first enemy, the devil. Secondly is the world. And the third worst enemy is your flesh. We wrestle with these things. We are all not just sinners, but Christians as well. We wrestle with these three enemies all the time. Well, Pastor, I'm saying I don't have to work. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have more power because you understand where your help comes from. But don't fool yourself. And don't think you can blink your eye. And don't think because you're saved that Satan has left you alone. He comes. Remember when Jesus was out in the wilderness for 40 days and the devil knew he was weak. He was tired. He came to him and tried to show him some things of the word, that he may be able to move him to become one of his servants. But Jesus had the word, and that's what we have to have today, is the word. So I want you to know today that we can be good soldiers for the Lord, good Christians Christian soldier, but there's some things that makes us good. We just can't give our life to the Lord and all of a sudden we got it going on. Right. Once you enlist in the service, then comes the training. So first of all, we want to know that the first thing you need to be in the army for the Lord, you have to have dedication. Yes. Dedication. We know that in a regular service, back years ago, men, they were drafted into the army. Yes. But now it's more of a free will thing, and that's what being a soldier for the Lord is, a free will thing. You enlist volunteer. Nobody pushes it on you. All right. You volunteer. You gave God your hand. You said, Lord, I want you to be a soldier in your army. So you enlisted, and because you enlisted, that means that now I want to dedicate my life to serving for the Lord. And these things, you understand, that when we dedicate our life, when we enlist in the army, the things around us shouldn't matter. But one thing that should matter is the thing that we will surround ourselves with now. Because the worst thing you do is have people that are enlisted in the service for the Lord, and when you right beside them, can you imagine being in the military, being in the army or the Navy, and you have people fighting beside you that are not even dedicated to the service, don't like the country, don't like what's going on, don't like it, and you in the army fighting with them, but they're not there because their heart is not in it. So if their heart is not in it, that makes it harder for you, because you got to watch your back and your back. Right. Because that other person, if they're not dedicated. So same way in Christian service, we say we're all on the battlefield for the Lord, but there's some of us that's not dedicated. You ought to feel, you can feel someone when their heart is in the service for the Lord, because they sustain things, they endure things, they put up with things that normal men won't put up with, but because of their dedication. Some just gave God their hand. Well, a real soldier gives God his heart. All right. Use me in your service. Whatever you were having to do, just use me. I won't question it. Just use me. All right. Here we are in 2017, and we still have people that question whether or not God has touched their life, whether or not God is still real. I mean, been going to church all their life. Don't question yourself even whether or not I'm going to heaven if I die. Right. 2017, and you don't know your commander any better than that yet. You don't know your sergeant. You don't know the captain any better than you still question whether or not you're on the right side. Right. Good soldier, he gives his life. A good soldier dedicates everything he has. Not only is he dedicated, but he's doable. Yes. All right. Yes, sir. Man, so what you mean doable? In other words, when you enlist in something, you're doable. You just hang around and you're not easily discouraged. You're not easily distracted. You're harnessed. And that's what Paul was saying in the second verse. And in the third verse, it says, therefore, endure hardness as a good soldier. So when you're doable, and when you endure hardness, Paul was saying this, Timothy, I'm sure that you looked at my record. You've seen my profile. You've seen my resume. And in my resume, there's a lot of places where I went through some rough times. I was chased. I was threatened. My life was in danger. I've been shipwrecked. I've been in jail, many times in prison. All these things. If you go back to my record and look through the second verse says that, and the things that thou have seen or have heard of me, and by many witnesses, the same thing commit thou to faithful men. You heard many witnesses tell my story. You heard many witnesses tell about the things I've been through. So I just wanted you to do this, Timothy. You endure hardness like I endured hard. Be a good soldier. Don't be no wimp that every time something comes your way you don't like, you crying and ready to run. All right. Come on, preacher. I need you to understand that being a soldier for the Lord, sometimes you're going to be chased. Sometimes you're not going to be liked by other people that's not in the battle, on the battlefield for the Lord. When you go, if you're in the United States and you go up against another country and they start bombing you, you shouldn't be mad or be surprised. And it's not you that drop the bomb, that it's who you represent, the United States. All
All right.
So when the devil starts dropping bombs on you and dropping lies on you and dropping criticism on you and dropping sickness on you and folks around you shouldn't be excited or scared and nervous, because you represent something that he don't like.
All right.
You represent Christianity. You represent God. And anything that represents God, they don't like it. So his job is to try to take it out one way or the other. So yeah, you got to learn how to endure hardness as a good soul. Don't be so easily discouraged. And we always should prepare ourselves morning, noon, or night. Anytime the opportunity arises, anytime the situation shows itself, you need to be prepared.
Yes.
Don't wait. In a real service, they don't wait till time for battle before they teach them how to use their weapon. They don't wait till time for battle before they teach them how to dig foxholes. They don't wait till time for battle before they teach them how to crawl around in the mud and the water and the rain.
Well.
But they train them the whole time before they get on the battlefield. So Christians, that's where the Lord, we didn't train.
Yes.
And sometimes things happen to us, as Paul said, our trials come on it to make us strong. Not to hurt us, but to help them. Who wouldn't train their servants? Who wouldn't train their soldiers for battle? And just send them out there to get killed? No. But God said, I'm going to train you. I want you to know there's not going to always be good days, and it's not going to be a sunshiny day. But I want you to know that if you stick with me, the battle is not yours.
All right.
It belongs to me. All I need you to do is just heed to my word and my understanding. Just lean out to your understanding, but then always acknowledge me. Now I direct your path for you. So first, we have to be dedicated. Second, we have to be doable, or endurance. And then third, we must be deliberated.
All right.
In other words, we must be planning things out. Have a plan, have a purpose. And when we plan things, we shouldn't be distracted by all the things that's going on around us. I don't want to scare anybody, but sometimes on the battlefield, I mean in the world, sometimes you probably seen this in your life. Some of you that are veterans, but I've seen a lot of things on TV before. I never was in the army and in military, but I've seen a lot of things. And there's sometimes when you are fighting, you're in your holes, and there's men around you, and the bomb is dropping, and metal is flying, and bullets are flying, and every now and then some around you get hit. Sometimes they lose their life. But you can't be distracted by the loss of your friend that's fighting with you on the battlefield. You got to keep on fighting.
All right. Right.
You got to keep on. Some of us do that. We lose a loved one. We lose, and we'll be distracted by that. We're so busy looking at the dead bodies around, and we forget that there's a battle going on. We have to keep our heads regardless of what happened, to keep our head, because that's another trick of the devil to the Christian soldier.
Yes.
Somebody in your life, some loved one may die, some tragedy may happen, some sickness may come, some trouble, heartache may come your way, and you get distracted instead of keeping your mind on the battle that's going on. You get distracted and start looking around at all the things that's happening. In our day-to-day life, we see that. We look at the news too much, and we see so many things that distract us. Politics distract us. Sometimes even our work job distracts us. Friends sometimes distract us. Even ourselves sometimes distract us.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Teach.
To the point that we almost forget our duties and our calling as soldiers for the Lord.
All right.
Can't get distracted by what happens in life. We can't get distracted by it. Stay on the force. Stay focused on what the Lord has for us to do as soldiers, good soldiers for the Lord. And then the last thing we want you to know that, yes, you have to be doable, you have to be dedicated, you have to have that be deliberated, and don't be distracted. But fourth, and not last, but not least, you must be delightful. You must be delightful.
Yes.
Paul said in the 3rd verse, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. And no man that warreth entertain himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who he has chosen him for to be a soldier. No man that's in war, it's impossible for you to be a soldier. and still trying to walk around in civilian clothes.
All right.
You can't be a soldier because, see, civilians don't think like soldiers think. People in the world don't think like soldiers. See, you've been trained and you know better. You can see the enemy. You see war. You see, and you listen to a different command.
All right.
Civilians don't see things. I don't have the slightest clue what some of you are talking about when you say stand down. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what it means to have to get up and shine your shoes and keep your suits and your outfits pressed and keep your weapon clean. I don't have no idea of what all that's about, but you do because you've been there.
All right.
And it was important. I don't know what the most important part was, but it was important to the point that when you came out of the military, that mentality was still, to this day, you still have that mentality. Those of you that were faithful, those of you that was in service, you still have a neat appearance about yourself. You don't have uniforms on, but your appearance is always neat.
All right.
Your clothes are always pressed, and your shoes are always shining. And most of the time, your punctuality is right on time. You're always there. Most of the time, that's what they come out being like. It was a thing that they brainwashed them in, and it's still there.
Yes, yes.
That's what God, it don't make sense to me because I wasn't there. I'm not there. But to those who have been there and been trained in these things, they understand that. They understand that. So now we, as Christians, because we hear something different than the world here. We hear the Lord's voice, and we know that He said that we answer to Him and Him only. In the real service, there's a time when you have a sergeant, you have someone who's a commander, and you listen to them. You may not agree, but you listen.
Yes,
and you do because you've been told, and you've been you made a vow that that's what you would do. You will serve your commander. You will serve your country. You would even die for your country if push comes to shove. But guess all these things we now know that took place. There was a thing that Paul said in the first verse. He said, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace." So how can I be strong? I got to have grace. And grace comes back to be Jesus. Be strong in Jesus. But when you think about grace, though, there were some things that I questioned about because I had my own definition of grace. But when I got to looking in the dictionary, I found there was some other definitions of grace. And one definition of grace that comes from the word grace, and it means something altogether different. This grace that it talked about simply elegance and refinement in your movement. You've heard that before, how she walked so gracefully into the room. That was one grace, one way of grace, the way you move, your significance, your simple elegance made it grace. But then there was another grace that talked about someone that has graced us. It's in a different, it's in the verse. Someone that graced you with their presence. They showed up for your event. And you said, I'm thankful. We're so thankful that you graced us with your appearance at our function. But the grace that I was concerned about was the one that we teach about in the Sunday school, the one that we read about in our Bible, the God's grace. And when they talk about God's grace, look what Paul was saying. Therefore, my brother, my son, be strong in the grace that is in you through Jesus Christ, that is in Christ Jesus. Now, when he talks about this grace, he's talking about God's grace, the unmerited grace.
yes.
Unfavorable, you didn't deserve it. That grace that brought salvation to us that didn't deserve to be saved, that bestowed blessing upon us that don't deserve to be blessed.
Well,
We talked about that grace, and then we found a little further on in that lesson, there was some other, Ephesians talked about grace, and Hebrew talks about faith and grace, and if you look a minute, Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, and the 8th verse says, "For it's by grace you have been saved through faith, not by your own work, but by grace." And I just said grace is that unmerited, you didn't deserve, undeserving of faith, that grace that God had blessed us with. Now, but it says now, for grace you're saved through faith. What is faith? Well, we know what faith is. It's a belief. It's strong belief in God and belief in the doctrine of God. Things that sometimes we don't even see with our own eyes. That Hebrews 11 and 1 tells us faith is the thing, something hoped for, everything not seen, but we believe it anyway because he said. Yes. So he said, now, it's by grace you have been saved through faith. We don't believe, we don't see, but we strongly believe in. We have that faith. So grace now, we do know through the grace and through the faith. So God grace saved us through our faith. And then what we said, faith comes by what? By hearing. Some folks say, well, you know, I just been praying for faith, and I just don't feel like I got it. I've been praying. Maybe you've been doing the wrong thing, because the Bible teaches us, Romans 10 and 17 said that faith comes by hearing. And hearing comes by the word of God. You have to hear God's word in order to grow faith. And then faith produces grace. All these things work together. So don't ever think, don't fool yourself to think that you save yourself. Or you can fight your own battle. But it's all because of the faith and the grace that works together. It's all because of God's plan that He already put together. We're not called to be part-time soldiers. He didn't call us to just jump in and jump out and jump. You know, we have people like that in the world that jump into service and jump out to, I'm a soldier for the Lord. But every time something's trying to jump out, then they jump back in and jump. You got to be a full-time soldier. You do a song we sung years ago. It said, God don't need no coward soldier. He can't use any coward soldier, not in his band. And that's why I'm so glad that in Ephesians 6 chapter and the 10th verse, Paul said we need to put on the whole armor of God, the whole armor. And he gave the description of the uniform, the equipment that we must have on in order to be faithful, in order to be there on the Lord's side, in order to be prepared for whatever comes our way. He talks about a lot of things that we should do, and I'm glad that Paul let us understand that there is a uniform that we must wear. And folks, I tell anybody, you know, I don't think that by wearing a big cross is our identity to tell folks that we on the Lord's side. Anybody can put on a cross.
All right.
By wearing a three-piece suit don't qualify and prove anything. Either by going to church every Sunday, which is sure, but it doesn't qualify or make us good soldiers for the Lord. But if you want to know what makes a good soldier, it takes all these things. You first got to be dedicated to the Lord. Then after that, you have to endure hardness like good soldiers. You got to be able to be deliberated and not be easily distracted by other things of the word. And then, like I said, you got to also be able to be delightful in the Lord. There was an old saying one time, I heard a man say that I've been excited ever since I've been invited. And right now my heart is so delighted. Yes, you ought to always be delightful. And I don't care what you're going through. And I tell folks, even when we bring our tithe and our offering around to the table, we ought to be cheerful and happy. Right now, because in the Bible somewhere I think it says God blesses the cheerful giver. I'm here to tell you today, we ought to start being happy in the Lord. My mother sung a song years ago, and I can hear it in my head right now. The song said, there's nothing so precious than Jesus to me. Let earth and all its treasures be gone. For I'm rich as I can be. When my Savior's face I see, I'm happy with Jesus alone. I'm not ready to close down, but I just want you to know that I came here for a minute, just for a minute, to let you know that in order to be a good soldier for the Lord, there are things that we must do. And we think about all the things that we do for the Lord. There's something that I want you to know, that Ephesians 6 and 12 says, for we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness of the world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. But I'm reminded that Paul once said we need to put on the whole armor of God. And when you put on the whole armor of the Lord, that means you're prepared and equipped and protected from head to toe. From the head, put on the helmet of salvation. that you may be able to hold your mind in the right place. Because if your head is not protected, you'll wind up having doubt in your mind. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, meaning that no matter who try to tell you not saved, if you will understand your breastplate, let you know that you're right with the Lord. Put on the sword in your hand, which is the word of God. And it's a two-edged sword. It cut from the back to the front, from the pulpit to the deacon bench, from the motherboard to the usher board. It don't have no favors. None of that. He said, put on the shoes of peace. Meaning that when we walk in a peaceful way. We don't try to stir no trouble. We're always ready in case trouble comes our way. Paul spoke about all the equipment that you should have on. But one thing Paul never mentioned was in their back protection. And I questioned that myself one time. Why didn't you have anything to protect your back? But I heard the Lord say on one occasion, he that put his hand to the plow and look back is not worthy of the kingdom. In other words, he that start fighting for the Lord and turn around and run the other way need to get hit with an arrow from the devil. God said, march forward. Stand in. You have to stand alone. I'm here to tell you today. Paul said, Timothy, endure hardness as a good soldier. In other words, you stand when God says stand. You move when your commander said move. When a storm of life comes your way, you're not worried because you know the Lord is your commander in charge. And not only that, he'll do something that another commander wouldn't do. The Lord said, you stand still and I'll fight the battle for you. All you have to do is just take his word. I tell folks all the time, there's something about God's word. His word is a lamp in dark place. His word is a light for your saved place. His word, it'll turn you back around. His word, it'll make you love right. His word will bring a daddy back home. His word will make the enemies in the footstool. His word is all we need right now. I heard the Lord say, heaven and earth may pass away, but his word will always stay. His word is going to stand and nothing else will. So all we have to do as good soldiers is to be about his word. Whatever he says, that's what we do. We don't have no knowledge, we don't have no sense. We don't make no praying in the battlefield. All we do is just listen to the commander, the chief, and whatever he says, we do that. That's what Jesus said on one occasion when he was at a wedding. And they ran out of wine, and they came to Mary, and Mary was to Jesus. And Jesus, not in my affair right now, I'm just too young. They won't. And Mary said unto the servant, to the company, whatsoever he tell you to do, just do it. And Mary said it back then, but I'm saying it today, whatever the Lord tells us to do. All we have, may not understand it, they can't figure it out, it may not make sense to us, but God doesn't specialize in making sense. He specializes in making ways. So whatever he says to us, just do it. I know it may look dark out there, it may look dangerous out there because the battle, the spiritual war, and the spiritual arrows are flying, and bombs are dropping all around you. But whatever the Lord says, do, just do it. God bless you. May God keep me. God will sanctify you. I will stand the door of the church open. And maybe there's someone here today that say, yeah, I'm on the battlefield for the Lord. I've been wrestling some things and I've almost gave up. I almost turned around. But I thank you for the message today because the message allowed me to understand that it's not about me. And this is not the time to run away from the battle. This is the time to get closer and to be strong in the battle. We shall win. If you're here today when you come,